look inside the atrium here at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin, all a part of the new renovation completed back in 2003, and you couldn't ask for a better day for football in the fall. And these two teams, it's actually the longest rivalry in the NFL. People think that the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers are the longest, but it's the Cardinals and the Packers. The last time the Cardinals won here, this place was named City Stadium. Mike McCarthy, first year as Packers head coach, the 42-year-old, still looking for some rhythm and timing on his offense, particularly, coach, in the offensive line. He's had to make a lot of changes, but they got a big win last week down in Miami. The Cardinals have won the toss. The Pack will kick away. Rayner kicks it deep. This will be J.J. Arrington inside the 5. And Arrington doesn't get out past the 20. Nice open field tackle there by Jarrett Bush. Matt Leinart celebrated the birth of his first child this week, and that's the good news coming off of the bad news, which was his performance against the Oakland Raiders. Probably his worst game as a pro, but looking to bounce back here against the Green Bay Packers. We'll set the offensive line after this.
The Cardinals' offensive line last week, Ronnie, didn't help Matt Leinart very much. He was on his own most of the day.
James alone in the backfield. Movement as Leinart tried to check it, and they're off to a rough start. Bill Levy will give us our first call of the day. Some changes up front, particularly the right side. Deuce Latui will get his first start at the right guard position, and Reggie Wells will get his second start at right tackle, replacing Oliver Ross, who struggled last week against the Raiders. Edgerrin James still looking for his first 100-yard day as a Cardinal. And Anquan Boldin, second in the NFL in catches. Leinart falls down, throws the ball, but it's incomplete. Intended for Bergen. And that'll bring up the Packers defensive line. Aaron Campman, having a Pro Bowl year, 6.5 sacks. That leads the team and is third in the NFL. Hawk, leading tackler on the Packers team, the first-round pick out of Ohio State, 16 tackles last week against Miami. Charles Woodson got his first interception as a Packer last week, a secondary that is slowly coming together. 2nd and 15, we draw inside. James not much. A.J. Hawk is there first.
You know, Ron, the Cardinals came in here today trying to get new hope for their football team. Anytime you make wholesale changes, whether it's in a head coach, an assistant coach, a quarterback, an offensive line, you create new hope for your team. The Cardinals have to do that, and if it not only gives the team more hope, if they can protect Matt Leinart and get the running game going for Edgerrin James, it's been the right thing to do, but they've certainly got off to a very rough start here in the first 2 plays of the game.
3rd down and 10. Boldin in motion. Pressure, here comes Canton. He gets it away, and it should have been intercepted. Al Harris has dropped a couple like that this year, but it'll be a 4th down for the Cardinals.
Well, Aaron Campman, the left defensive end, he comes unblocked from the left side. No one even picks him up. Matt Leinart can't possibly be expected to stay in the pocket when you don't block a defensive end. You've got to be able to pick up at least the 4-down linemen that are going to rush the quarterback. You know they're going to rush almost every down.
So the man with the ugly face bar will punt it away. That's Scott Player punting to Charles Woodson. Woodson has returned punts most of the year. Dodges one, breaks inside, and Woodson is out to about the 44-yard line of the Arizona Cardinals. Hanik Milligan on the tackle. Brett Favre, Mr. Efficient, especially the last 2 games, no interceptions. But as we said in the open, we got to find a way to take Lambeau Field back. We've got to get our first win of the season here. Up front, it's still work in progress. They're going with the rookies inside. College last week had to play left tackle in an emergency. Chad Clifton went down with the flu. Amon Green with his first 100-yard game last week against Miami. And Donald Driver is Brett Favre's go-to man. 1st and 10. They'll go with the downhill run. Green, and he takes it downhill all the way to the Cardinals' 31-yard line. Robert Griffith on the tackle. Arizona Cardinals defense. Bertrand Berry having an outstanding year. 4 sacks, that leads the team. 3 sacks last week versus Oakland. The linebackers, Pace, Hayes, and Orlando Ruff. In the secondary, Adrian Wilson. 4 sacks, that leads the team. He will come downhill and hit you, and he can go get the football. A pickup of 11, moves the chains. Green again. Not much. Tackle by Dockett.
The Packers have come out here, Ron, and trying to do what they really want to do, become a balanced football team, being able to run the ball, take some pressure off of Brett Favre, and allow him to throw when he wants to throw, not all the time having to throw. And the Packers are going to try to run this ball right at the Cardinal defensive line.
2nd down and 9. 2 tight ends set for the Packers. Green looking for the edge, and it's not there. Eric Green came up with a nice tackle. That'll bring up a 3rd down. Last week, the Packers went down to Miami, won 34-24, thanks to 3 interceptions, 1 return for a touchdown by Charles Woodson, and 2 4th down gambles that paid off big.
I think when you watch the Packers, they lack some continuity, some consistency, because they've had so many changes in the offensive line and injuries to their wide receivers, so they don't quite have the rhythm that they expected to have at this point of the season.
This is a 3rd down and 8. 3-man line for Arizona. A lot of holes, and there goes Morency. And let's see where they mark it. It's going to be close.
The Packers like to run the ball with a zone blocking scheme. They want to get good splits in the offensive line. They want to go ahead and stretch that defense, stretch it on the front side, cut it off on the back side, have the running back just pick a hole and hit it full speed. That's the zone running game of the Packers.
Aaron Francisco came down and made the tackle, a pickup of 7. No gambling here by Mike McCarthy this week. They're going to go for the field goal. This is Rayner. He hit from 53 yards in practice. This will be from 42. Fake. No place to go. And the Arizona Cardinals weren't going for it. Eric Green brought down John Ryan. So a little trickeration backfires on the Green Bay Packers. So the fake field goal attempt, John Ryan, the holder, tried to pick it up, look for somebody to pass to. I don't know if they communicated that right across the board, but the Arizona Cardinals had it communicated, and that could come back to haunt it. 1st and 10 for Matt Leinart and the Cardinals. James busts through past the 40-yard line for a couple. Let's go back to that fake field goal.
Ron, when you watch the fake field goal, you can see the holder right here. John Ryan, now no one's going to release. There's nobody going to run out into the flat to take the pass. There's no receivers out there. You can see all of a sudden he doesn't have anybody to throw the ball to. So it's really just a busted play. Somebody on the Packer kicking team busted.
It's not how they drew it up in practice, I bet. For sure. That's James again. He got 6 on the first carry. Lucky if he got 2 on that one. It's 1. Ryan Pickett on the tackle.
I think when you look back on that play, Ron, who knows how this game's going to turn out, but you have 4th and 1. You've made some first downs. You've got some momentum. You have the home field crowd. To me, you either go for that ball or you kick it. But to run that kind of a fake, I think obviously it didn't work, so it's easy to say it was ill-advised, but I just don't think it was the right call in that situation.
3rd down and 3 from that line. Bolden is in the slot. Got time, throw, and a drop. It would have been an easy first down, and you won't see that very often from Anquan Bolden.
Well, I think that's a shame, Ron. If you're a Cardinals fan, the Cardinals need to come out here and they need to execute. Matt Leinart will hit some receivers. Those receivers have got to catch the ball. As you say, it's not often that Bolden will drop a pass like that. But in order for the Cardinals to get on track and get a win, they need to execute their offensive system. That's not happened so far today.
Scott Blair will kick it away at his 30-yard line. Bad punt. That one quacks all the way down inside the 15. And that's where it will roll dead. And it'll be Green Bay ball. 46-yard punt. No score here early in the first. No score here in Lambeau. We've already had a fake field goal by the Packers that did not work. And Arizona Cardinals couldn't do anything with 2 possessions. Driver in motion. Bootleg. He's got Driver wide open. Driver will have to run after the catch. And he gets out to the 20-yard line. Quick recap for the Packers. Everyone's talked about it. The youngest team in the NFL coming in to the season. 19 rookies on the roster. The pass offense, they've gotten it going a little bit. And that's after the criticism of Brett Favre at the beginning of the season. The pass defense, they've been shell-shocked. Second down and 2. Green will have the first down. And on that last catch by Donald Driver, he has now caught at least 1 pass in 71 consecutive games.
You know, Ron, you talk about how young the Packers are, and they really are young, and particularly on defense. I think their front 7 is very, very good and getting better. They're going to ascend as they get more experience. Their offensive line has a couple rookies. I think there's hope for the Packers. I think this team is getting better. They've had a real bad time with injuries. They've had a lot of players go down, particularly at the wide receiver position.
First and 10 at the 25. That's David Martin in motion. Looking for Martin. Favre trying to make time. Dumps it down complete to Brandon Myree, the backup fullback. And Myree will have 20 yards and a Packer first down.
Players like Brett Favre always find outlet receivers. If you don't put the pressure on him, he's looking downfield deep. He wants to go deep. He can't get the ball. He always comes down underneath. That's what outstanding quarterbacks do for you. They get you off the hook when your primary receiver breaks down. Brett Favre does it as well as anybody.
William Henderson is down today. Not getting much playing time, and Myree brought up from the practice squad earlier this year. Donald Driver catches one, and that'll be close to another first down. He's about 3 yards away.
Ron, Green Bay wants to try to get the ball to Donald Driver as often as they can. That time he just lined up in a slot, ran a little quick slant. Those are hard to defend. You can be a great defensive back. You can't take that away from an offense very often if the ball's delivered on time and accurately like it was by Brett Favre on that play.
You see Driver's numbers. He came in as Favre's security blanket, and he has been so throughout the season. Second down and 2. Morency will have an easy first down for the Packers. Let's check in with Chris Rose for this update for the first time today. Chris.
Hi, Ron. The Chicago Bears looking to start the season 7-0 for the first time since that whole Super Bowl shuffle thing. Already up 3-0 on the Niners, then they recover a fumble, and Thomas Jones keeping Cedric Benson on the bench. The good move in his 3rd touchdown of the year gives the Bears a 10-0 lead. Back to Ron and Terry.
And that is what the Packers are looking at in this North Division. The Green Bay Packers chasing the Chicago Bears, who are off to a great start. As that's Morency again on the carry. And the Arizona Cardinals could have done something to help the Packers a couple weeks ago. But everyone knows about that meltdown in Arizona after leading by 20 points early in the game. They couldn't close the deal, and that led to an eruption by that man, head coach Dennis Green, who says we just let him off the hook. And that prompted more changes, notably the change in the offensive coordinators.
I'm not sure the Cardinals are over that game yet, Ron. That hangover lasts a long time when you lose a game like that.
Morency in the backfield, second down and 7. Morency looking for the edge, cuts it up, and Morency's got a lane. Robert Griffith saves the tackle, saves the touchdown. 24 yards for Morency.
Ron, the Packers have their running game going now. They're running their outside zone play. They want to stretch the front side, get the defense running, and then let the running back find a crease. There's always a crease in the defense. It's either on the front side or the back side. This particular time, it was on the front side. But the Packers can run the ball against this Arizona front right now.
A career-long rush for Morency, who was brought in earlier this year in a trade with the Houston Texans. Going for the end zone. Driver just out of reach.
Donald Driver trying to run the post corner route, trying to go to the grass out there. Brett Favre, he's in the slot. You can watch him, number 80 right there. He's going to get over to this area right in there. That's where the grass is. He's going to run to that grass that he sees. Brett Favre is going to lay that ball out there. The ball's just overthrown just a little bit.
Antrell Roll was a couple steps late. 9th play of the drive, and this drive started at the 12. Looking for the slant, and it's not there. The marker goes down. Intended for the rookie, Chris Francis. But this could go against Arizona.
Defense. Automatic first down. Spot on the foul.
That goes against Antrell Roll.
Francis is going to run a little slant route inside. Antrell Roll, the left corner, is going to bump him in here a little bit right there. A little contact. Ball's in the air. They're going to call that almost every time, Ron. You played back there. You know it. They're not going to give those defensive backs much of a break. Not after 5 yards.
So a first and goal for the Pack. Going for the fade. Another marker. Probably going again against Antrell Roll. Intended again for Chris Francis.
Well, there's no question on this
Pass
particular
interference. Number 21 defense. Foul occurred in the end zone. Ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. First down.
Francis doesn't have a chance to run the fade route. Antrell Roll just cuts him off really clearly more than 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. That's an easy call for the official.
Coming into the game, the Cardinals secondary had been flagged 5 times for illegal contact. That's 2 interference penalties right there. First and goal. Play action. Throw inside. Touchdown Packers. David Martin. That's the second touchdown of the year for tight end David Martin, and Brett Favre told us he would get the tight ends more involved. Rayner puts it through, so the Packers get on the board here first in the first quarter.
Hey, it's me, Mark. Still living in my center for 7 days. Tonight, I'm having my buddies over, so I thought I'd get the place all cleaned up.
Nine plays, 88 yards, and a touch. Brett Favre to David Martin, and they can thank Antrell Roll for that one.
Well, the 2 pass interference calls were huge, but the Packers' offensive line is really having their way right now with that Cardinal defense. They're punching holes in that line, and they're able to run the ball. When the Packers can run and throw, now they've got a chance to have a very effective offensive football team. They generally haven't been able to do that.
This will be Arrington, a short kick. He'll take it at the 10. Still going. Gets out to about the 25-yard line. Patrick Dindy on the tackle. 7-0 Pack early here in the first.
On the Packers scoring drive, David Martin, the tight end, he's going to go in motion, then he's going to come back and he's going to run a little hide route right over the goal line. Watch him and watch how crowded the throw is by Brett Favre. There's easier ways to score a touchdown. There's 3 defenders right in that area. That ball could have been tipped, deflected, or intercepted.
Great block by Amon Green. If he doesn't chop Bertrand Berry, I don't think Favre can get that pass off. Look at the total yards. 1st and 10 for the Cardinals. Movement, and they're going to stop this play. Let's go to Los Angeles for this update. Chris Rose.
All right, Ron, cold and windy at the Meadowlands, but look at Eli Manning faking the screen, throwing the fade, and the effort by Plexico Burris for Manning, his 14th touchdown toss of the season, second most to Donovan McNabb this season. Up 7-zip on the Bucs. Ron, back to you.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. And that penalty against the Packers, Corey Williams got a little antsy.
Ron, I'm surprised. The Cardinals are doing a lot of checking at the line of scrimmage. This is a tough place to check, particularly with a rookie quarterback in his 4th start.
1st and 5. James. He got a couple. And a quick recap of the Arizona Cardinals. Their money man, Anquan Bolden, 2nd in the NFL. And in the rush offense, well, it hasn't been there, and that's mainly because of the problems with the offensive line. The red zone defense has been outstanding, and that man, Adrian Wilson, has been a big part of it. He'll play in the box some, but he'll play deep in the secondary and can pick off passes. 2nd and 2. Packers creep up 8, looking for a run. They force Lionel to check out and go to another play, looking for the quick slant. It's caught. No, it's not. Al Harris, great coverage on Anquan Bolden, and he said, I would play Anquan Bolden just like I play everybody else, up top and tough.
Al Harris, he doesn't get intimidated by many receivers. He loves to play bump and run coverage. He gets his hands on him, but he also plays the ball. He can pull balls out of receivers' hands. That's exactly what he did there. He's a veteran. He's crafty. You got to watch Al Harris. He can strip the ball from you. He's done it time and time again.
Liner 0 for 4 so far. The quick draw inside. James, and he may have the 1st down. Williams on the tackle. And Dennis Green has made the changes with the offensive line. Deuce Latui, the left guard. He will start at right guard, getting his 1st NFL start. You can see it week by week. Reggie Wells slides over at the right tackle position today, replacing Oliver Ross, who struggled last week. Going deep, separation intended for Bolden, and Bolden had that extra step on Al Harris, but it was overthrown. And Coach, you said it. Change, they hope, equals hope.
No question. When you're losing, Ron, you're looking for hope. You've got to hang your hat on hope. And they're hoping that by changing the offensive line, they renew their whole football team. Number 1. Number 2, they get Matt Leinart protected better, because they've got to be able to do that. And number 3, run the ball better with Edger and James. So by changing that line, that's why you're changing it. You're thinking you're going to affect a lot of parts of your football team.
2nd and 10, run blitz by the Pack, and it pays off. James may have gotten 1. Check that, he got 3. A little better than it looked.
Well, Edger and James is a type of runner. He needs more space. He's not been able to get that space with the Cardinals offense. This is a little counter trap, but there's no real air in that defense. You need to get air for a back like Edger and James, or he's going to average 2.7 yards a carry.
That's right. 3rd down and 7. Four-man push by the Packers. Plenty of time. A high throw and nearly intercepted. Intended for Bryant Johnson. Charles Woodson is a little dinged up. He was on the coverage.
You can't blame the Cardinals offensive line for this. They give Matt Leinart plenty of time. They do a good job. He's got plenty of time to get that ball released. This is a bad throw. The ball is high. Leinart was lucky that ball wasn't tipped and knocked up in the air and intercepted by Green Bay.
Woodson is a little shaken up. That Sean Bodiford will go back deep to receive the punt.
He's been in camp for 2 days, Ron.
Just got here. Bodiford will take it inside the 15. Makes a nice move, and Bodiford is still moving. in camp for about a week and then bust one down the middle of the field for a nice game.
I bet he gets to stay longer now.
I bet he does too. Next week on Fox NFL Sunday, it all begins with the pregame show at 12 Eastern. Then it's the Packers and the Bills, or the Cowboys taking on the Redskins. Or you'll see the Vikings and the 49ers. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Charles Woodson hyperextended his knee on that last breakup.
He's the man in tight man-to-man coverage. He's going to go up and try to intercept this ball. He comes down on his left knee. It looks like it really does look like he really sprained that knee, and that could be a serious loss. The Packers love to play tight man-to-man coverage. If Charles Woodson doesn't play, Patrick Dendy comes in. He doesn't run anywhere near like Charles Woodson. That tough bump and run man coverage is going to be more difficult to play.
They've also got Will Blackman, the fourth rounder out of Boston College. You could see him some as well. 1st and 10 for the Packers. Ball at the 30-yard line. This will be Green. Green has trouble early. Nice play in the backfield. Chris Cooper, 5th-year man out of Nebraska, Omaha.
Now, this is going to be important for the Cardinals front to be able to slow down the running game of the Packers. So far, the Packers have had their way with that front, but that was an excellent play by Cooper. He got off the block, came down the line of scrimmage, and made that kind of a play. The whole front for Arizona's got to be able to do that and make the Packers one-dimensional. Make Brett Favre beat you. Don't let him beat you with the running game.
Cardinals guess and run. They've got 8 men up. They get a pass. The curl in, caught. Nice catch by Ravel Martin. And as you remember, Ravel Martin had a big 4th down and 1 catch in the first half against the Dolphins last week. That one was good for 19 and a 1st down.
Ravel Martin just runs down, and watch him snatch the ball out of the air. You talk about receivers going back and getting the ball, catching it with their hands, not in their bodies. This is a great example by Martin. A very, very impressive play by a guy who hasn't played very much.
Another undrafted free agent. Came into the league originally with the Chargers in 2004. That's Amon Green for a couple. He got 5. Greg Jennings couldn't make it today. Remember, he injured his ankle against the Dolphins last week. He was on crutches Monday, got off the crutches, tried to practice, but you can tell by the way he's moving there, that's a little worse than ginger.
Ron, he's going to be several weeks, in my opinion. He made a great catch on the play he got injured. It was a tremendous catch by him, but he's going to take some time on that ankle.
Yes, we're going to see a lot of young faces in the receiving corps for the Green Bay Packers. That ball skips in short, intended for David Martin. Favre had pressure.
And that was unfortunate if you're a Packer fan. David Martin was wide open in the slot. He ran a little slide route, and Favre just couldn't get him the ball. If he had, there was an awful lot of space for Martin to maneuver down the field.
48 seconds left here in the first quarter, and a quiet quarter for the Arizona Cardinals. They come into the game scoring a lot of points in the first quarter, but nothing here today so far.
Green Bay. That's their first charge.
Timeout, Green Bay. We head out to Los Angeles for this game break in Chris Rhodes.
All right, Ron, in Kansas City, Seneca Wallace with his first career start and his second career touchdown. That's the DJ Hackett. Seahawks up 7-3. And in Chicago, the Bears have scored 14 points off of 2 Niners turnovers, 17 overall. It's Grossman to Muhammad, and he goes between the twigs with the 17-0 lead. Back to Ron and Terry.
Seattle has to do it now with the backup quarterback. We saw him last week, Seneca Wallace.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting, Ron. He's very mobile. He's got a strong arm. He's not very tall, 6 feet. You know, he's not going to see like a lot of the taller quarterbacks can see, but he is a playmaker. When you watched him in college, and he hadn't played much in pro football, but when you watched him in college, this guy could light it up with his arm or his legs, and it'd be interesting to see how the Seahawks respond with Matt Hasselbeck out of that lineup.
And that's another reason why Arizona, as you could see from the standings, they have to get off that 6-game skid that they're currently on. 3rd down and 5. They set everybody up in the backfield for protection. Favre with time, throw inside, Martin's got it, he'll run. David Martin inside the 25-yard line, and that's another Packer first down.
Well, Ronnie, you mentioned the protection. Brett Favre told us it all starts with protection. You can see two blockers right there to make sure that Favre is protected, and he's got plenty of time to find Martin down the field. We mentioned at the beginning, find your tight end. If you lose your outside speed, which the Packers have, 3 out of the 4 best wideouts out of the game, find your tight end. That's what Brett Favre did on that play.
And this will be the last play of the first quarter. The throw down inside, dropped by Donald Driver. Maybe we'll get one more play. And Brett Favre told us, talking to him this week, he said the tight ends are going to figure a lot bigger for me in this offense. And Mike McCarthy says, I love the tight end as an option. You can use him as a blocker, you can use him as a receiver, even a fullback.
And they help you in special teams, Ron, because they're big body type guys. So really, when you suit up 4 tight ends like the Packers have today, they can be utilized in short yardage, all kinds of different ways. So you can play tight end offense. Joe Gibbs has done it for years.
2nd and 10. Green runs one over and pounds his way close to the 15-yard line. 7-0 Green Bay. Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages. Here's a word from your local Fox station. We start the second quarter here in Green Bay. Ron Pitts, Terry Donahue. We're looking at a 3rd down and about 4. Inside the 5. And with that much room, Driver's going to get it every time. A pickup of 13.
Every time, Ron. Donald Driver in the slot. He's going to run a little slant route. He's right here. You can watch him. He's just going to run down and go inside. And if you don't have tighter coverage than that on Donald Driver, that ball is going to be complete every time.
And the matchup is exactly what they want. That's Robert Griffin, the free safety. You get a safety on a wide receiver like Driver. Offense wins that one.
And Adrian Wilson, both of those safeties.
Arizona. That's their first
Timeout,
charge.
Arizona.
Timeout.
7-0 Packers. Coach, enjoy that shot of the Fox River because in about a month it won't look like that. It'll be frozen over.
I thought there'd be sailboats on it or something.
Yeah, there'll be sailboats, all right. There'll be ice fishing. There's a look at the first quarter numbers.
And you look at total yards and lack of passing yards for the Cardinals. Hard to believe they've gotten off to such a slow start.
Green looking for the end zone. Upended, but he's in. Touchdown, Packers. And Amon Green has just tied Paul Hornung for 2nd all-time in Packers history with 50 rushing touchdowns.
This is just Green Bay running their zone play. They like to go ahead and stretch the front side, go ahead and find a crease. They give it to a good back. Amon Green coming off those injuries. He gets it in the end zone for him. Packers in total control of this game so far.
Rayner adds another one, and the Packers, as you say, are in control of this one. 14-0 Pack. Green, as we just mentioned, tying the all-time list, along with Paul Hornung, 50th career rushing touchdown. And he's been banged up a little bit this year, especially this week. Had to rest a sore knee all week long.
You know, after that long run in Miami last week, you know, you almost wondered if he was going to pull his hamstrings. I mean, that was a long 70-yard run in the heat.
Had 118 yards rushing at his first 100-yard rushing game of the season. Arrington just past the 25-yard line. Let's go back to that touchdown.
Well, you wonder why guys get the ball in the end zone, but watch the offensive guard here, Spitz. He's going to get a good double team and then work up on a safety. And also watch the fullback, Myrie. He will isolate on the linebacker. Running back.
Offside. number 34 of the kicking team. Arizona's elected to enforce the penalty from the end of the run, 5 yards, first down.
Running backs don't get the ball in the end zone on their own generally. Now, that's a good power run at the end by Amon Green, but Spitz and Myrie, they set the touchdown up.
And the Packers have been talking a lot about their run game, the new run scheme, that zone blocking scheme that they went to this year. And Amon Green said he liked it because that's similar to what he ran at the University of Nebraska. Charles Woodson checks back in after hyperextending that knee. Let's see if he can run. 1st and 10. On the ground, James with a nice first down run. Let's go down to the third member of our crew, Drew Smith.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. Charles Woodson came to the sideline. He banged that same knee that he had injured a few weeks ago. Took a couple of ibuprofen. Doctor said, all right, if you want to give it a try, give it a try. And Woodson now back out there, hoping he can keep up the level of play.
All right, Drew, a pickup of 6 by James.
You know, Ron, a lot of people wouldn't agree with this necessarily, but I think losing Charles Woodson would be huge for this defensive team.
2nd and 4. James again, he cuts it back. Going to be about a full yard short of the first down. Cole on the tackle.
You know, some people feel like Charles Woodson is overrated and things like that and maybe doesn't play up to his potential. But as I look at Charles Woodson on this particular team, he and Al Harris, 9-year veterans, they've got experience, they know how to, they're savvy, they're crafty, those guys, you know. And to lose that guy would be a huge loss because it takes you out of a lot of your bump and run coverage.
You always want a guy that's got sub 4.4 speed. And that's what Charles Woodson has. 3rd and 1. Bergen in motion. Edge, and he's got the first down. He leads the NFL in rush attempts, came into the game with 161 rushes, but no 100-yard game, and that has been the hot topic all year in Arizona.
And I think as you look at him, Ron, a couple things. One, he's really running behind a makeshift offensive line. As we've pointed out, there's been so many changes throughout the course of the season already. And number 2, Edgerrin James is really past the peak of his career. You know, he's an outstanding back, but Indianapolis doesn't let him go if they believe that he's right in the heart of his career.
Joined the team in free agency this year from the Colts. Somebody moved early.
Delay game, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
And Denny Green, we talked about this earlier. He made the change with the offensive coordinators. Keith Rowan was replaced 2 weeks ago. Mike Kruschek, who was the quarterback's coach, now takes over as the offensive coordinator. He wouldn't get into it this week as far as what he expects from Kruschek versus Rowan, but he did say we got to score more than 14, 15 points a game. 1st and 15 after the penalty. Pressure, gets it away, and it's caught. Anquan Bolden, and Bolden is close to the 50-yard line. Al Harris on the coverage.
Really a nice job by a rookie quarterback here, Ronnie, just staying in the pocket. It's a little play-action fake. Matt Leinart goes back. The offensive line does an excellent job getting him protected. This is what he moves up inside the pocket, delivers the ball for the completion. When you talk about Matt Leinart, I think he exudes confidence. The guy makes you feel confident when you talk to him. When we visited with him on the phone the other day, it wasn't like talking to a guy who started 3 or 4 games. It's like talking to a veteran of 4 or 5 years.
37-2 as a starter at Southern Cal, a 94% win ratio. This is James, and James will have the first down. He's seen, as you like to say, Coach, the big game under the big lights in big situations.
Oh, no question. Matt Leinart's not awed by the NFL. He talked about the most difficult transition was, number 1, the terminology. And then secondly, he talked about the speed of the front 4. He said those front 4 guys are like linebackers, and you can't hold the ball like you hold it in college. And he said that's been the biggest adjustment that he's needed to make at the pro level.
First quarterback drafted by the Cardinals in the first round in 19 years. You got to go all the way back to Kelly Stouffer in 1987. Leinart looking for his second completion of the day, and it's not there. In and out of the hands of Leonard Pope, the 3rd rounder out of Georgia. And this is the first time today in Packer territory for the Cardinals. And if you want to make a comparison, go ahead, between the new school and the legendary future Hall of Famer school in the first 3 starts.
And it's hard to know because what's the surrounding cast, you know?
Yeah, right, a lot of factors in there.
You're not kidding. I mean, you know, who are you throwing to? Who's protecting you? How good is your running game? There's an awful lot of factors that go into that comparison. But Matt Leinart, I think, clearly has demonstrated he was an excellent pick for the Cardinals.
Let's see if he can get out of this. He can't pressure by the Packers. Barnett is there first along with 2 others.
Well, the Packers are bringing plenty of heat. When they feel the pressure that the Cardinals are going to move the ball, they're going to bring the heat. Now watch, you're going to get pressure from the outside on the left. Woodson's going to blitz, and Barnett up the middle. That means they're bringing a corner and a middle linebacker. That's an awful lot of folks for the Cardinals to block.
Baja Biamila, Woodson, and Barnett. And it's a loss of 8, 3rd and long. Timeout called by Green Bay. Well, hold on tight and don't blink. After football today, it's the Professional Bull Riders Series as the world's toughest cowboys put it all on the line in the Professional Bull Riders World Finals on Fox. Don't miss all the action right here after our football coverage. Coach, you used to do a little of that, huh?
Oh, absolutely. Ronnie, that last time out by the Packers was a good one. There's a wide receiver up there totally uncovered. They didn't get him covered down. And
That's what you were laughing at, right?
Yeah, Marquand Manuel, he ran into the backfield of the Cardinals trying to call timeout, and he did the right thing. He knew there was an uncovered guy. That was a touchdown for the Cardinals if the Packers don't call that timeout.
He almost got a penalty trying to call timeout. Almost jumped off sides. 3rd and 18. Packers bringing 3 men. This is their Frisco package. Leinart with all the time in the world, throws it deep. He's got a man, got Johnson, and he can't hold on, and the flag is down. Intended for Ruvell Martin. Excuse me, that's intended for Bryant Johnson. Marquand Manuel was back deep.
Bryant Johnson ran out of bounds and then came back onto the field. He gets forced out of bounds on his release. It's a very wide release.
Number 80 of the offense went out of bounds, came back in, was the first to illegally touch the ball. The penalty will be declined, 4th down.
When you watch Johnson here, this release, he's going to end up way out there. A wide receiver needs to fight harder to stay in bounds. You can't get jammed out of bounds like that and then come back. You can see the hat, the referee, he's dropped his hat, it's over here. And sure enough, it's a good call by the official. That's why he takes his hat off. Not very good coverage by the Packers.
So that'll mean a punt by the Cardinals. Scott Player will punt it away, and Charles Woodson is back to return the kick. Woodson takes it inside the 10, gets away from 1, and will barely get out past the 10-yard line. Not well advised to field the punt inside the 10-yard line.
There she goes. One that got away. You see the way she was looking at me?
Well, look at the action so far today. The Packers tried to get tricky with a fake field goal. They didn't tell everybody that the fake was on. The Cardinals dodged the bullet, but then Brett Favre comes right down the field. Hits David Martin 1 yard out. And then Amon Green, 4-yard touchdown run as he tied Paul Hornung for 50 career rushing touchdowns.
I think the way the Packers have been able to run the ball, Ronnie, has been very instrumental in their fast start here today.
2 tight end set. They'll go with the bootleg. Wide open. David Martin. And Martin will have 10 and then some. The last 2 possessions for the Green Bay Packers have been good.
Ronnie, we talked about Getting the ball to the tight end, right? Brett Favre, when you lose all that outside speed that he's lost, when he's lost Greg Jennings, Robert Ferguson, Corin Robinson, those guys are gone. You got to find other ways. So you get it to your back or your tight ends. Martin, Bubba Franks, those kinds of guys, Donald Lee, they've got a bunch of them. They can make plays for it. And they have today.
23 yards on that play. Two tight ends. They'll go again. Driver, the slant. Driver still going. Gets away from roll. And he's pushed out of bounds at the 44-yard line. Robert Griffith on the tackle.
Donald Driver really is a guy that I admire. When I watch him play, he plays with such spirit, such heart. He represents really Brett Favre in a lot of ways. These two guys are such warriors. This is a little slant pass and just an individual great effort by him making a play against roll.
31-year-old Donald Driver, 7 years in the league. 7th round pick back in '99.
What a great 7th round pick that was.
2nd and 2. Green. And you get the feeling that Ahman Green is starting to feel his groove now. He talked a lot earlier about the offensive line and this new run scheme. He said, I'm not worried about the mistakes. I told the guys in the meeting, I'm going to be with you the entire year. Whether it's good or bad, we're together. So let's just get it together.
Yeah, and you know, when you're starting 2 rookie guards, you're starting Spitz in college, and then you've got a 3rd-year center in Wells. You're very young, very inexperienced inside. It's going to take some time to develop. The 2 tackles are very solid. And Clifton and Tosh, those guys are solid, but the young players inside, they need to develop.
Looking for quick ones again. Almost a great one-handed grab by Donald Driver. Driver was working out, and I think Brett thought he was going to stay in.
Donald Driver, they like him in the slot. He's the guy you want to watch. He runs a little inside route, then slides back outside, pushes off. It's a good push-off by him. It's a legal push-off, but the ball's just dropped. Brett Favre knows it's a little bit behind him, just not quite where he wanted.
2nd down and 10. Vernon Morency in the backfield. He'll get the draw. The draw is there. Morency trying to score. Inside the 20. Down at the 15. Macklin finally tackles him, but he got 36. Morency is having a career day so far.
Ron, a lot of people say you line up in the shotgun, you can't run the ball, but you can run the ball in the shotgun, and you really have to run the ball. They shotgun snap to Favre. He just hands a little quick draw to Morency, and the rest is up to Morency. What a move he put on number 34, Robert Griffith. He just left him there, enabled him to make the long run. Good backs make defenders miss. That's what Morency did that time.
The original 3rd round pick for the Houston Texans last year, getting some run. Nice play action. Favre on the hoof, trying to get to Driver. Check that, intended for Rubel Martin, and it's thrown behind him.
You know, when you make long runs in football, wide receivers have got to be blocking downfield. You can watch number 80, Donald Driver. We've talked about him as a receiver, but watch him come here and get a block. They're late in that run that enables Morency to continue down the field.
Second down and 10. And a timeout is called by Favre.
Timeout, Green Bay. That's their 3rd and final charge timeout. 30-second timeout.
And that is a final timeout for the Packers. Coming up this February, the world's best drivers return to Fox and go door to door to see who will take home the checkered flag in the 49th running of the Great American Race. Beginning in February, Fox Sports is the exclusive home of the Daytona 500.
You know, Ron, I'm really surprised so far with this game. I felt like, I really felt like the Arizona Cardinals last week against the Raiders, it hit rock bottom. I really felt like they would get their backs to the wall. They made some changes this week. I felt coming into this game that their football team was going to rally for Denny Green. And Denny's going through. This is hard for a coach when things are collapsing on you like this. You know, he expected to be 6-1 more than 1-6 for sure in our conversations with him. And I think the whole organization is shocked with the slow start they've gotten. He's trying to get this thing going, and this team really isn't playing very well so far today.
They'll reset the 2nd and 10. Dumps it off to Green. Green is going to have the first down, looking for the end zone, and he gets down to the 2.
Nice job by Brett Favre looking downfield. He wanted to go for the end zone. He doesn't find anybody down there, and so he does the next best thing, lay the ball off to a good running back in the open field and let him run to daylight. That's exactly what the Packers do. Amon Green with the reception and a good run after the catch.
A pickup of 14 for Green. Favre with all the time in the world throws where it's incomplete. Intended for Donald Lee.
Actually, it might have been good for Lee. He didn't catch the ball. I'll tell you, that would have been a headline. Ball attacks man. That thing was going 100 miles an hour. And what happens, Donald Lee runs a little delay route. There's pretty good coverage, really. The ball's just too hot and too high. There's not a tight end on the planet that could have caught that ball.
2nd and goal. Green looking for his 2nd touchdown. And he's in. Touchdown, Packers.
When you're running the zone scheme, you stretch the front side. You try to get the defense to flow, and then you find a crease. You find it on the front side, you find it on the back side. Here, if you freeze it right there, the cutback is back into this area back here. That's where Green finds the cutback, not to the front side. He finds it on the back side for the touchdown.
Rayner adds the extra one, and the Packers are jumping all over the Arizona Cardinals. Green in his 2nd touchdown today, and you could see from the start that he was feeling good.
I think that long run last week really helped Amon Green. I think it helped his confidence. I think it helped the entire football team. When a back makes a long run, you can see coaches on the sideline going, really showing their excitement about that. This guy took the ball 70 yards against Miami Dolphins, and when you do that kind of thing, it just uplifts your entire football team. And here at the end of the run, that's when he turned it on and outran the Miami secondary. That was the key to the run as far as I was concerned.
18 carries, 118 yards, and remember last year he spent most of the year on IR, had that quad injury, ended up having to have a surgery for it to correct that. So, as a running back, there's so much stop and start, and you wonder, you're never quite sure where you're going to be when you actually get back out there.
No, you're never sure. After injuries like that, you're just not positive what's going to happen, and you just keep working. He had to slow down his work ethic. His rehab was so fast. People said, hey, you slow down a little bit. You're pushing this too fast. Ronnie, if you're Denny Green, you got to get out of this half, and you got to get in there, and you got to talk to your football team and figure out what do you do?
What do you say, though?
Well, you've got to talk to them and just figure it out.
Fumble, a live ball, and I believe Arizona got back on it. J.J. Arrington fumbled it, and not only did he fumble it, he kicked it forward. And a couple Packers had a beat on it.
J.J. just mishandled that ball. He made a great effort trying to get to it. From the Cardinals standpoint, thank goodness they got that fumble right there. If they had turned that ball over now, down 21-0 here in the first half, that would have spelled disaster and finality for the Cardinals.
Marcel Schiff got back on the ball. 6:19 here in the second quarter. 21-zip Packers. James is wide open, and he'll have a nice game. Pushed out of bounds, but he's got at least 10. And Matt Leinart has struggled today. He had a couple drop balls. There's one, Anquan Boldin. You don't see that very often. A nice breakup by Harris, an overthrow. And that one's a little high.
I think although there's been some pressure on Matt Leinart, the new offensive line, particularly Reggie Wells at the right tackle, you haven't heard a lot from Aaron Kiffin so far today.
The check down to James. James dances a little bit before he gets pushed out of bounds, and a marker goes down. A.J. Hawk on the tackle.
It's been an important drive for Arizona, Ron. Down 21-0. If they can come back, get something going, get some points on the scoreboard, try to get some kind of confidence.
Personal foul, face mask, number 50 of the defense. 15-yard penalty added on to the end of the run. First down.
That'll help a little bit. That's A.J. Hawk. And Hawk is hot over that call.
Boy, he's been a great pick for Green Bay. This guy, I think he's the real deal. He's got the speed. He's got the instincts. The whole linebacking crew, really, of Green Bay is encouraging. Their young players, Nick Barnett, #1 pick, 4-year guy, you know. You got Brady Papinga getting better. The linebacking crew of Green Bay has a very, very bright future.
Looking for Boldin. He's got him, and Boldin should have the first down. He does, as he works inside Packer territory. Al Harris on the coverage.
Anquan Boldin plays from the slot on this particular play, runs a little out route, and catches the ball, and he's very, very good with the run after the catch. You can watch him. He'll slide outside. Now watch him force his first down. He likes to punish defenders, and that's exactly what he did on this play. He turned it upfield, got those pads down, and he punished the Packers secondary.
Last week, he became the fastest player to 300 catches in league history. Did it in only 47 games. And check this down. That's Troy Walters. Walters fights for another first down, close to another first down. He got 11. And that will move the chains. And Boldin's numbers coming into today, as you see there. Remember, he is a second-round pick back in 2003. Bryant Johnson was the first-round pick. And really, Anquan Boldin pretty much showed Johnson up.
Well, and is there a better guy in the league other than maybe Steve Smith or T.O. with the ball after the catch than Anquan Boldin? And I'm not sure those guys are better than he is, but they might be.
And James starting to get it going a little bit. Stiff arms, manual out of bounds, but he got 7.
Ronnie, two good things, I think, from the Cardinals' standpoint. This drive, Edgerrin James is starting to get it going a little bit, as you just said, and also Matt Leinart is starting to heat up a little bit now. He's starting to hit some receivers, settle down. This is a critical drive. With 4 minutes to go in this half, the Cardinals, if they get on the board, they can get themselves psychologically as well as physically back in this game.
Leinart has hit 4 in a row. 2nd and 3. They'll go back to the run. James trying to get around the corner, and Barnett says no. Arguably the best drive of the day so far for the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, I think so much of offense is rhythm, it's execution, it's continuity, and that's what the Cardinals have not been able to have with that offensive line. It's been everything but that, you know. And so as this line plays together, the longer they play together, the better they'll play. They've gotten off to such a poor start here today, but it's a long game. Games usually aren't won in the first half, very seldom. 3rd down and 2. The throw inside, it's complete, and that's a first down for the Cardinals. Bryant Johnson. Nice job by Bryant Johnson running an inside route. It looked almost like a pick play. You can watch him release inside. The ball's going to be thrown behind him. Watch him reach back for this ball. He makes a good grab. It's put on the back pocket, so no one can get it but him. Good throw by the quarterback. Excellent reception by the receiver. Leinart now 5 in a row.
James smelled it in zone, tried to cut it back and falls inside the 5. He almost had it.
If you watch the right guard, Latui, the rookie from USC, he pulls around. You're going to be able to see him right here. He's the guy that's going to lead this play. It's a nice little counter play by Edgerrin James. He finds a crease, turns it north and south. He slips. Otherwise, he would have had the touchdown.
9 yards for James. 2nd down and 1. The Cardinals can get a first down down here. James cuts it back. Johnny Jolly on the tackle, the rookie out of Texas A&M. Hard to tell by the mark whether or not he got the first.
Really a nice job.
He's going to be short.
Yeah, nice job by Johnny Jolly.
And that is the 2-minute warning. The Arizona Cardinals threatening to score.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by the new AT&T. Your world delivered.
Get used to more action. Download hundreds of movies with AT&T Home Zone. TV with the power of the internet. Another innovation from the new AT&T. Your world delivered.
Men at the square table. Is it cool for men to put a lime wedge in their beer?
I think so. It's like tropical.
Plus it prevents scurvy.
I had scurvy once.
Why don't we just hollow out a coconut, drop in a little umbrella, and call it a beer colada?
Really?
Who knows what they'll put in our beer next? Banana slices? Kumquats?
I mean, where does it end?
I'll tell you where it ends. Right here. No fruit in beer.
Don't fruit the beer.
Menlo?
Menlo.
For great taste, there's no debate. Miller Lite.
When does the best-selling car in America become the best car for America? When does an engine become an engine of change? Introducing the first ever gas-electric Camry with hybrid synergy drive. When a car becomes more.
3rd down and inches coming up here. Big play for the Cardinals.
Ron, do you take 2 cracks at it for the first down? I think you do. You're down 21-0. You have nothing to lose. I don't think
you take all the cracks you can get. I don't think
you're in field goal range here. I think you got to get a touchdown. You've got inches to go. You run this ball twice. You make the first down and get a new series of downs to score. But I don't think the Cardinals go for a field goal here.
Packer defensive lineman Corey Williams limped off with a knee injury a few plays ago. His return is questionable. 3rd and inches. Nobody in the backfield. Quarterback sneak. It's going to come down to the spot. He may have fallen forward. Yes, he did.
Used all 6'5" of his frame here on the quarterback sneak. Kind of fell forward. Pretty good surge by the Cardinal offensive line, but a critical first down.
That is not how you design a quarterback to go for the quarterback sneak.
Leinert's a little tall there, really. He really is a little bit tall to be running that at 6'5". He didn't get his pads down very low, but he made the first down. That's what counts.
1st and goal. James is hit immediately. Did he get in? He's going to be short. Marquand Manuel came down from the safety spot and made a nice play.
That was a nice run by Edgerrin James. He got hit in the backfield, as you mentioned, by Manuel, Ronnie, but he went ahead.
Number 79 is reporting eligible. 79.
Drove his feet and got all the way down to about the 1-foot line.
They'll go to James. He's not in. What a shot. Nick Barnett is there. Let's listen to this.
fans could really hear what we heard, Ron, but what a hit by Nick Barnett. Excellent goal line defense by the Packers. But again, with this timeout, the Cardinals have got to get this ball in the end zone. This has been an impressive drive all the way from the 16-yard line, now down to the 1-foot line.
Cardinals call timeout. Don't forget, it's the Visa halftime report with Kurt, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy coming up. Get you caught up on all the scores and highlights from around the league. Plus the Fox Sports ticker will have the up to the second stats. It's all coming up on the Visa halftime report.
You know, Ron, you've got so many players up in the line of scrimmage. You're sitting there, you've got a foot to go. You have to be thinking play action a little bit. And yet, it's so hard to call a play action when you've got a foot, 6 inches to make a touchdown. You want to run the ball. You really do. You just want to run that football. But sometimes you call the play action, but boy, right here, I think you punch it in. I think you establish a line of scrimmage and you punch the ball in. Or at least try.
36 seconds left here in the first half. 3rd and goal.
We're checking off.
Looking for Bolden. And they can't hook up. Harris on the coverage.
And Matt Leinart just checked his play. He saw man-to-man press coverage up there. Bolden one-on-one. Here it is. There's the matchup. And he's just going to throw it up into the end zone to the strongest receiver on his team. But they're unable to come down with it. Good coverage by Al Harris. He's a tough guy to beat when he's pressed.
4th and goal. James, did he get it in? Yes, touchdown Cardinals. So with 29 seconds left, the Arizona Cardinals finally get on the board here in Green Bay.
Boy, you talk about a tough run by Edgerrin James. That's what this was. That was a big play for the Arizona Cardinals. He's going to come off to the right side, and he takes on number 50 head on. Just he and A.J. Hawk, big man on big man, and he punches it in the end zone. That's why Edgerrin James came to Arizona.
Hawk lost his lid and lost for the touchdown. Rackers puts it through. And the Arizona Cardinals did exactly what they had to do going in at halftime.
Or you talk about a must drive by the Cardinals. That was a must drive and a must touchdown. They had to get this ball in the end zone, Ronnie, or they would have come apart, I'm sure.
And the Cardinals came into the game doing great in the first quarter. 59 first quarter points. They got 0 the first quarter of this game. And we're just struggling. And as you said, we're talking about Denny Green and what he was going to say. What could you say at halftime to your team down 21-0?
And with very little to talk about in a positive way. But that drive, you know, from the 16 all the way down, took 5.5, 6 minutes off the clock. That was an impressive Cardinal drive. They ran it and they throw. So that's what they want, right balance. That's what they're working at. Matt Leinart got hot on that drive, found some open guys. The offensive line did a good job protecting him.
And the Cardinals are without Larry Fitzgerald. He's battling a hamstring injury. We've already talked about a couple of the drops by Anquan Bolden. But the run game has gotten going, and that's helped them a lot.
It's helped them a lot.
Ball falls off the tee.
You know, and if you had Fitzgerald in this game with Bolden and with Bryant Johnson, you know, you've got a lot of weapons, particularly against the secondary that's last in the NFL against the pass. And so, you know, I think that the Cardinals have some hope. They have good outside receivers. They've got a talented young quarterback. They've got to get their offensive line scored away. The biggest disappointment for me right now for Arizona is the way their defense is playing. I don't think their defense is playing as well today as they had anticipated coming into this game.
That's a screamer. That'll go into the end zone for a touchback. Don't forget the Visa halftime report coming up. All the scores and highlights from around the NFL, plus the Fox Sports ticker. Boy, they were on Kurt this morning, weren't they? Compared him to Rerun. Oh, man.
Those guys can be brutal now.
Matt Leinart, since that first quarter, got on a rhythm, got on a roll a little bit. The Cardinals had only 34 yards before that last drive, and the last drive was 84 yards and pay dirt and a much-needed 7 points. And so the Pack will sit on it and go in up 21-7. Coach, your thoughts on that first half?
Well, I think my thoughts are, number one, Green Bay ran the ball much more effectively against that Cardinals front than I thought they could. Number two, I think the Cardinals got off to such a slow start, so bad, but they had that great drive at the end.
Right down. Let's go down to Drew Smith.
With us, Denny Green, coach. Offensive line changes this week. Got a good drive going to the end of the half. What have you seen?
Well, the big thing, we haven't stopped them. I mean, I think you can't play half of football and have your defense not stop them one time. I thought our guys a lot better last drive. Hopefully that'll carry over into the second half.
What other changes are you looking for second half, especially on the defensive side?
Well, I think the big thing, we just got to get them in long yardage situations. I mean, we let them get outside a couple times, do a little bit better on the perimeter, and then try to continue mixing our run and pass. I think our offense had much better rhythm at the end.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Appreciate it.
That's the half. The Packers up 21-7.
Next week on Fox NFL Sunday, the guys take a road trip to D.C. as America's #1 pregame show broadcast live from the nation's capital. Then, bitter division rivals slug it out in a critical NFC East showdown. Tio and the Cowboys take on Portis and the Redskins. Live from D.C., Fox NFL Sunday, next week in HD.
Jim Doyle opposed new casinos, but after tribal casinos spent millions to elect him, he changed his tune. Doyle even gave tribes a deal so bad for taxpayers, it was ruled illegal. And while Doyle protects his casino contributors, he vetoed the property tax freeze for us and cut millions from nursing homes, hurting our poorest seniors. Jim Doyle, lucrative deals for his special interest friends, paid for by the rest of Wisconsin. We need a change.
You only have 1 week to deal during the Jeep Model Year-End Clearance. From right now until October 31st, get 0% APR financing for 60 months and make no monthly payments until April 2007 on the entire 2006 Jeep lineup, like Grand Cherokee or Commander, the most capable 7-passenger SUV. Get 0 for 60 on Wrangler or Liberty.
We are at halftime here in Green Bay. The Packers in control by 14. Welcome to the booth, everyone. Ron Pitts, Terry Donahue, and we talk about Green Bay. They got off to the quick start, and they were able to do something they haven't really done, with the exception of last week, and that's run the ball consistently. And you talk about Amon Green with 41 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns.
Well, I think their zone running game really took effect in the first half, and they've got to be happy with the way they've been able to control the line of scrimmage. And I've been surprised that they've been able to pierce the Cardinals defense like they have. The Cardinals didn't make them punt once in that half, Ronnie. Yeah. Anytime that defense doesn't do that, you're not playing very good defense. So I think the Cardinals have got to come out and be able to stop the running game of the Packers. The Packers are going to come back out and keep trying to run that ball right down their throats if they can.
And Arizona did what they had to do. They had to get points on the board before the halftime, and they had a really nice drive. 14 plays. They finally punch it in with Edgerrin James, but that was hard, and it took a lot of hard work on their part.
It took time and a lot of hard work, and it was key because it gave Denny Green something to talk about at halftime, something positive.
Yeah.
If they don't get that ball in, it's tough to go into that locker room and face those players, and sure enough, they got the ball in. I think they've got new life here, and in the NFL, no game is over until it's over, and certainly the Cardinals are capable of coming back and winning this game.
Edgerrin James punches it in, and that puts us at 21-7. This will be the Pack. Vernon Morency. Morency is Had a couple nice runs today. He gets it out to about the 25-yard line. Let's go down to Drew Smith.
We talked to Mike McCarthy coming back onto the field. He loves the mix of his offense right now. 103 yards rushing, 135 or so yards passing. Defensively, he felt they made the Cardinals a one-dimensional team until that final drive. They've got to say, he says they've got to clamp it down, get back to where they were at the beginning of the game. Back upstairs.
All right, Drew. And one-dimensional, that's what you're trying to make the other team every time you play in this league.
Yeah, if you can get a team just to be able to throw, that they're playing right into your hands, but that's not always easy to do.
1st and 10 throw. That's David Martin. And Martin rounded up quickly by Adrian Wilson. Here's a look at the first half numbers.
When you look at this, Ron, the biggest stat of all is right here. 238 yards total offense for Green Bay. As we mentioned, they rush the ball, they throw the ball. They did it all in the first half.
Quick look at your fantasy guys. Matt Leinart, 6 for 15 for 61 yards. Brett Favre has been pretty consistent. And Edgerrin James getting it going. For the latest in fantasy stats, log on to foxsports.com. That's Martin setting up in the backfield. They're going to use him as a fullback. They'll hand it off. Green cuts it back. Ahman Green will get a first down. Nice run. Tough yards inside by Green.
Well, I think it's an important run too, Ron. The Cardinals had a 5-man defensive line, meaning they are expecting the Packers to come out and run that. You can see them right here, there. There's 5 of them lined up right there. They're going to try to play run all the way. The Packers were able to crease that with their zone running attack. Ahman Green punishing the tackler on the final yard of the run.
1st and 10. Green again from the eye. He's got a breakout. Ahman Green is across the 50. Another tackle by Wilson.
Now, right now, when your fullback can lead through and can't find anybody to block, you've got your running game going. Watch the fullback right here, Myrie. He's leading the zone running play. He can't find anybody right now. Finally, he finds a guy to get his hat on. That means your offensive line is knocking the defensive line off the ball.
14 yards as you look at that rushing comparison. Cardinals stay in that 5-man line. Morency, not much. Gerald Hayes on the tackle.
Green Bay doing a nice job, Ronnie, of mixing the backs. They're not overworking Ahman Green, you know. He's the kind of back coming off the injuries, coming off all the different things he's been through. You work Morency in there. It's a nice combination. You always have a fresh player in the game at tailback, and when you can do that, it helps you.
This will be 2nd and 10. They'll run again. Morency inside the 40. And obviously the Packers are set on just hammering this ball coming out in the 3rd quarter.
Well, I think they found out in the first half they can dominate the line of scrimmage. Mike McCarthy loves it when he can run and throw with equal efficiency. Here, it's just the outside zone run and play. All the linemen come off. They try to get as many double teams as they can, get the defense running to the front side. Running back, you find the crease, one cut, and take it downhill. That's the zone running game, and that's what's working.
Quick throw, pressure, gets it outside to Myrie, and Myrie is pushed out of bounds at about the 35. For a second there, it looked as though Favre was going to have to take a sack.
Brett Favre is so unconventional the way he plays, Ron. You know, as you said, it looked like he was going to be sacked.
But he doesn't do that. He will get rid of that football.
Yeah, I mean, he just plays off his back foot. He plays off his left foot, his right foot, no feet. I mean, this guy, he just ad-libs as he plays, which makes him a great player.
Green and Myrie in the backfield. 2nd and 7. Green for a couple.
Once again, the Cardinals expecting run, trying to load up on the front. They're lined up. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defensive linemen. You've got another guy here, another guy here. There's plenty of defenders to try and get this run stop. They know that they're going to go ahead. They know that they're going to go ahead and run the ball.
Clancy Pendergast, the Cardinals defensive coordinator. 3rd and 5. Slant inside, incomplete. Intended for Chris Francis. That's a rookie out of Texas, El Paso, and couldn't hold on.
The important thing is the drive when you come out of the half. The first drive of the second half. It's important on both sides. Certainly Green Bay has come out and decided that they're going to go ahead, go for it here on 4th and 5. They're going for the win today.
They went for it twice last week, and they're not going to do it here. This play will be stopped, and I think they're going to get it.
Offside on the penalty to the quarterback, number 96 defense. The penalty will leave the Green Bay Packers inches short of the first down.
Okay, it's going to leave them inches short, and that's Chike O'Keefer. Let's listen to the hard count.
That's a crafty veteran right there, getting you with his voice inflection. It's hard when you're a defensive lineman, particularly when you're outside like O'Keefer was, way away from the ball. You listen to the quarterback's voice. You shouldn't. You should be watching the ball, but oftentimes you get lulled into that voice, and sure enough, he got drawn off sides.
They'll go back to the run game. Green breaks out, and Green inside the 20. O'Keefer brings him down. A pickup of 10, and that's a first down.
When Amon Green is ripping off 10-yard runs, you know things are going well. It's going to be a zone play over to the left. They're going to come off the ball. The fullback's going to lead it, and Amon Green's going to break tackles, keep moving those legs, and moving those chains.
Amon Green, 14 carries for 76 yards. And that's number 15.
Ron, this is Denny Green's worst nightmare. You know, he has a great drive to end the first half. He goes in there, he talks to his team, says, look it, boys, a lot of things went wrong. We're going to come out, play better in the second half, but we've got to play better defense. I guarantee you, he was in there talking to his team about better defense. And they come out here, and the Packers have been able to run this ball right at them to start the second half.
And they've been able to change up backs, and that's hurt them as well. Vernon Morency is back in. He'll get the call. And another Packer first down. Whether it's Morency or Green, coach, the holes are still there, and that means you got to give the credit to the Packers offensive line.
I think that's exactly right, Ron. This offensive line is dominating the day, and they have from the beginning of the afternoon. They've been able to surprisingly punch holes in this Arizona defense, particularly a defense that came in and people talked about their defensive line and their linebackers, and they were good against the run. They have not been good against the run, and the Packers today.
And a first and goal for the Pack. They'll go with the I formation power play again. Not much for Morency that time. Eric Green, the corner, coming up to make the tackle. Boy, when you're getting your corners involved in the tackles, that doesn't bode well for your defense. That means you're having trouble stopping the run up front with the front seven.
Well, and you're loading them up with 7, 8 guys, 5 defensive linemen. Believe me, the Cardinals are doing everything they can possibly do to go ahead and try to get him stopped. Clancy Pendergast, he's trying like crazy to get him slowed down, but right now the defensive line is just not handling the offensive line of the Packers.
Oh, and listen to Brett Favre. Pressure to throw, incomplete. In and out of the hands of Lavelle Martin, and a flag comes down late. Felt politic for that one a little bit.
Yeah, he sure did. In
pass interference, number 27 defense. Pass occurred in the end zone. First down at the 1-yard line.
That goes against David Macklin.
Yeah, I don't think this is a very good call myself. Vel Martin at the top's going to run a little slant. Macklin plays inside. I don't see much of interference there. I'm not sure about that call.
Good move here by Martin. He turned him around. Play action. Plenty of time. Favre by running himself. Touchdown, Packers. The first rushing touchdown of the year for Brett Favre. And look, he's going to take his own lead. Wasn't that the same guy they said he's done? His career is winding down. He's over, right?
You know, it's like he just scored his first touchdown in high school.
Yeah.
You know? The Packers are having fun right now, Ron.
An outstanding drive, and it was all done on the ground and capped off by the Brett Favre run. 28-7, Green Bay.
I don't think you're supposed to put coins in there.
Want to get away? Now you can. With Southwest Airlines Internet Specials, you can fly to over 60 destinations nationwide for just $49 to $159. Purchased by November 16th.
You are now free to move about the country.
Welcome to Lowe's. Can I help you?
Yes, I need some of that,
garland?
Yes, and how about one of those,
And, Coach, we mentioned it earlier that the Packers were set on running the ball, obviously, on that drive. And for Brett Favre, that's his first rushing touchdown since December 3rd of 2001 against Jacksonville.
Oh, my goodness. That's a long time to be playing without a rushing touchdown. We're going to have to talk to Favre about that.
Arrington fumbled the last kickoff return. Secures this one, but a marker goes down back upfield. That usually means offsides on the kickoff team. And going back to Favre, he said, I'm having more fun this year because mainly the expectations aren't as high as they were last year.
Number 96 of the kicking team. 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
They'll re-kick it.
And I think that's right, Ron. I think that he's been rejuvenated a little bit by the youth of this team. I think that
that's a good point.
I think because there are so many young players on this team, he knows that he's a veteran. He can have more fun, and the expectations are not as high. So you can play looser because people kind of accept, okay, we're not as good this year, but we love the Packers. So he's having a ball doing it.
And people questioned his accuracy and arm strength, if you can believe that one, in the beginning of the season. That was the trendy topic going into the season. But he made it a point to tell us the other day, hey, I'm still accurate. I know I can throw the football. And I see that accuracy. I mean, he's had it most of the year. I think where the inconsistencies have been is at the wide receiving crew. A lot of changes.
I think the inconsistency at the wide receiver, and I also think Brett Favre makes more bad throwing decisions now than he's ever made before because he's trying to make things happen. Now, that doesn't mean he can't play quarterback, but I do think he forces more balls in there now because he's so competitive. He has a fierce desire to win, and he's going to make a play come heck or high water, right?
And he said that's a trap I can't fall into. With a young team, young offensive line, young wide receivers, I can't think I have to force every throw.
And I think he's done that a little bit.
So they'll re-kick it, try to stay on side this time. They do. This is Arrington again. Arrington still going, bounces out of the pile. He's at the 35, the 40, throws a stiff arm, and he's out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. 30 yards on the return, and Brett Favre still getting it done.
Michael, lass mal runter ein bisschen. Weiter links. Gut. So you couldn't find a car you like here in Germany? couldn't find a speed limit I liked in America. Hi, I'm Tyler Florence, and welcome to my kitchen. Food is my passion. I've shown you how to make it on TV, and I've written a few cookbooks. And now with Applebee's, I've created signature recipes just for you.
Introducing Huge Flavor by Tyler Florence.
Like my crispy brick chicken, I take fresh rosemary and olive oil, and I sear it right in. It is so crispy.
The Arizona Cardinals on the first 4 drives, 34 yards, 4 punts. And their last drive turned out okay, but they haven't been on the field a while thanks to Brett Favre and the run game of the Packers. Throwing a catch, Troy Walters. Let's go back to that touchdown by Favre.
You know, Ron, you don't want Brett Favre running very often for your football team. You want him throwing the ball or handing it off, but sometimes guys aren't open. You can see one of the tight ends, Bubba Franks, falls down. The other tight end, David Martin, is covered inside, and sure enough, there's really nowhere to go with the ball, and so he decides to take it in. The greatest thing about it is he has fun playing again, and everybody likes that.
James, and James will move the chains. That's 8 yards. Favre with his Lambeau leap.
Not much of a vertical jump there, Ron. Not like those wideouts.
Now he got there. He can't afford to pull a hamstring. First and 10. Cardinals on the other side of the 50. Pressure set. Aaron Campman. That's 7.5 on the year. Let's get an update. Let's go to Los Angeles for Chris Rose.
All right, Ron. So Matt Leinart struggling up at Lambeau, but a different left-handed number 7 is doing just fine in Cincinnati. Look at Michael Vick out of the pocket, hitting the former Buckeye Michael Jenkins. Vick 14 of 21, a $193 and 2 scores, and the Falcons lead it by 3. Back to Ron and Terry.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. Quick look at the NFC South standings. 2nd and 16 after the sack. Wide open in the middle of the field, Leonard Pope. That's the rookie out of Georgia. And he moves him down inside the 30. 22 yards on the pass play.
Nice job by Matt Leinart finding Pope. He's the tight end down on the line of scrimmage right here. He's just going to run down the field, and there's going to be a blitz from the outside by the Packers. And sure enough, Leinart sees the uncovered man, delivers the ball. This is a nice drive by the Cardinals responding to that Packer touchdown.
Leinart is 8 of his last 9. They'll go with the draw. James Hunting picking his way. Maybe got a couple. All in all, Coach, do you think the offensive line change has paid off? Obviously not in the score, but in terms of what they've been able to do offensively.
Well, I think it's going to take some time, Ron. You know, one game isn't going to fix it. But I do think Reggie Wells, he just went over there at right tackle. He gave up a sack just a moment ago to Aaron Campman. But however...
But Campman had been quiet.
Yeah, he had been quiet, and we mentioned that. And they've moved the ball here a little bit at the end of the first half and now in this drive. So I think the offensive line changes have a chance to be successful. I do.
2nd down, pressure again. Leinart gets it away. And it's going to be ruled incomplete. Bajabiamila.
It's a nice job by Bajabiamila against Leonard Davis. You can see number 94 right there, and watch the big left tackle of Arizona. Those are the 2 guys. Bajabiamila just slaps his hands away, makes a move around him. A speed rusher against Leonard Davis is going to have a good chance. Leonard Davis is a big man, but a speed guy is going to give him trouble. A power guy, he's going to win every time.
3rd down and 6. Movement early by the Packers. Let's see if they were drawn off.
Encroachment, number 99 defense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
No, they weren't. That's Corey Williams. Corey Williams limped off early in the game with a knee. That time he thought he hurt something.
That was a big penalty, though, Ron. Corey Williams is lined up right next to the ball. You know, you can't jump off sides there. That That gives the Cardinals a 3rd and 1, even less than a yard.
James for the 1 yard, and he's got it. So you go back to that penalty by Williams, and that may have been the difference in the Cardinals holding on to the ball. 3 yards by James.
Yeah, and I'm impressed that the Cardinals have responded. You know, when the Packers scored that 28th point, there was a chance there for the Cardinals to just lie down and quit. But they've come back here with a nice drive, and it's impressive. Leinart, he's throwing well. Edgerrin James is running well.
1st and 10, gun formation for Leinart. Looks in the middle of the field, nothing there. Sack. Aaron Campman, his 2nd sack of the day.
Yeah. Aaron Campman's going to be inside number 74. He's the guy you got to watch. Watch him right here. He's the best pass rusher that the Packers have. He gets another sack, his 2nd sack today. He came into the game with 6.5 sacks. He's the guy you have to account for when you start looking at the Packers defensive line.
He had 3 sacks in New Orleans versus New Orleans week 2 here, and 1 sack in each of the last 2 games. 2nd and 15, plenty of time for Leinart. A throw and a catch. What a catch. Bryant Johnson comes down with it in the middle of the field, but it's going to go back.
Pass interference, number 80 offense. 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Offensive pass interference against Johnson.
Charles Woodson is on the coverage, number 21. He's in the slot trying to cover Johnson right here, and you can watch him. There's a little bit of a pick play. He gets bumped. I'm not sure, Ron. I don't know.
Unless it happened later on, you couldn't tell.
Yeah, if it happened later on, but it's certainly in our camera, I don't see offensive pass interference. I just don't.
He may have pushed the man down in front of him. It's hard to tell. 2nd and long distance. Blitzed by the Packers. They pick it up. Going deep. Intended for Bolden, and it's incomplete. Al Harris on the coverage.
Really nice coverage by number 31, Al Harris. He had it all the way. He's a really experienced player. He knew exactly, because they were going to bring the blitz, he knew that Leinart was going to throw the fade, and he had it covered all the way.
3 interceptions by the Packers last week in that win against Miami. Barnett had 1, Woodson had 1, and Popenga had 1. They're toughening up against the throw. 3rd and 25. Throw outside to Marcel Schiff. That's incomplete. Nick Barnett on the coverage, and a marker is down back at the 11-yard line.
I think they're going to get Harris
going
here.
Against Green Bay.
Yeah, I think they're going to get 31.
Number 31 defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
I think this is a good call. You can watch the one-on-one bump and run coverage, but that defensive back 5 yards down the field can't make hand contact. He clearly grabs with his left hand. The official caught him. Al Harris now, he's sneaky. You've got to watch him. His hands are sneaky. And he'll sneak in there, he'll grab cloth, he'll hold, he'll do whatever he needs to do to cover. He's very, very good at it. The official caught him that time.
1st down after the penalty. They'll go back to the run game, and Edgerrin James.
Boy, you think about that penalty, Ron. They had him 3rd and 25, right? 3rd and 25, and you get
huge.
And you get that penalty. It's only a 5-yard penalty, but it starts a new series of downs. So it's a huge factor because it keeps this Cardinal drive alive. If you're Green Bay, you're wanting to get off the field.
1 yard on the play by James. Second down and 9. Check down for to Bolden, and Bolden will have the 1st down. Coverage again by Al Harris.
It's a nice job by the offensive lineman protecting against the blitz. They pick it up. Leinert's got plenty of time to hit the crossing route. They get Bolden on a little crossing route here. It's really, I think, a well-executed offensive play by the Cardinals.
8 100-yard career receiving games. Anquan Bolden. Check that was for just last year, the 8 100-yard game. The check down inside, and it's incomplete. It was tipped coming out. Ryan Pickett may have gotten a hand on it.
Ronnie, as you know from playing defensive back, when you're playing a lot of man-to-man coverage, particularly bump-type coverage, you want to run crossing routes. You want those wide receivers to cross. It's harder for those DBs to stay with them and maintain that leverage and make those plays. And that's what Arizona's doing a little bit on that last play to Bolden. They hit a crossing route. The defensive back couldn't quite undercut the route, so it's a completion. Those are tough routes against that coverage.
Packers would go only 3 down linemen. Wide open, Troy Walters, and he can walk in. Touchdown, Cardinals. 17 yards, Leinart to Walters. That's the second touchdown of the year for Walters, the free agent from Indianapolis.
That's a nice job by Troy Walters. He's going to go in motion. He's going to run across the field. We just talked about crossing routes, man-to-man coverage. Somebody just leaves him wide open. And anytime you start crossing receivers, you've got a chance to pop those guys open, and that's what happened on that play. An impressive drive by Arizona.
Walters replacing the injured Larry Fitzgerald. Comes away with some much-needed points for his team. 28-14, Green Bay.
Introducing the all-new Extended Length Expedition. Now with more than twice the cargo space behind the third row.
Hey, son.
Man, I wish you guys could be here.
Yeah, well, we do too.
It's a long way, I know.
Well, let us know how it goes.
Okay.
Let's go.
Bold moves. They happen every day.
Enjoying Guinness Draft in a sports bar is a great idea.
Yes, and I've taken the liberty of ordering us some hot wings.
Hot wings? Brilliant! That wasn't too bad.
Please enjoy Guinness Draft responsibly.
Anyone here?
What's up, Jeff?
Hey, guys. I'm not really good with goodbyes, so...
Fox tomorrow at 8.
Don't move!
In a fight for life and death.
He's running, go, 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 go!
Sometimes the hunter
I did not want to have to kill him.
can become the prey.
Who is this?
I think you already know.
An all-new Prison Break. Viewer discretion advised. Followed by Justice tomorrow on Fox.
Another nice-looking drive for the Arizona Cardinals. 13 plays, 59 yards, capped off by the 17-yard touchdown. Leinart to Walters. And believe it or not, the Packers have not punted yet this entire game. That's how well they've been able to sustain the drives and really going back to what we've talked about, run the football.
And I think for Arizona to get back into this game, realistically get back into this game, their defense has got to step it up. I mean, that was Denny Green's comment at halftime. Hey, my biggest concern is my defense hasn't stopped them. And sure enough, they still haven't stopped them.
Morency and Bodiford back deep to receive the kick. Nice kick. That'll be Morency. Morency gets out about to the 20-yard line. 28-14, Green Bay.
Training in the pool.
Baby, we can go anytime. You just let me know what's good for you.
You can't get through Detroit training in no pool. You think Michael trained in the pool? No, I don't think so.
And stop looking at my lemonade.
Here I come. Cannonball.
Oh, he got Pop sweat.
Don't make me get out of this seat.
Come on in.
Yeah.
He won't get in the water. He don't want to get his hair wet. Pretty boy.
Hold that thought. I'm gonna call you back.
Oh, Lord.
Super Duty, the most capable pickup in America. Bold moves. They happen every day.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by the LeBrons and Nike Basketball.
Cardinals putting together some nice drives, and the best part of those drives, if you're a Cardinal fan, is they end up in touchdowns.
They haven't done that for a while. Back-to-back long touchdown drives. That offense has been really dormant for a while.
1st and 10. They'll go back to that ground game that was so good the series before. That's Amon Green for a couple. Well, Tuesday night on Fox, it's the Emmy Award-winning smash hit House. It returns at its all-new time, 9/8 Central. It all starts Tuesday night right here on Fox. Viewer discretion is advised. Hugh Laurie is outstanding in that show. He can solve anything.
He's tough.
He could be the next defensive coordinator.
I'll tell you what, that guy's...
Or offensive coordinator.
That guy could play linebacker in the NFL. He's tough.
4 yards on the pickup. Straight ISO power, and that's enough for a first down, depending on how they mark it. I believe it will be, as that's Green again. Look at the play selection.
Well, when you're running the ball effectively, Ron, it's fun to call offense. It really is, because, you know, as Mike Holmgren said a few weeks ago, 2nd and 9. What do you call on 2nd and 9? But when you're calling plays on 2nd and 4 or 2nd and 5, is a whole different mindset. And when your running game's going like it is for the Packers today, it's a whole lot more fun to be able to have that running game in your back pocket, know that you can control the line of scrimmage, which the Packers have done today.
And that is about as close as you can be and not have the first down.
I know, and yet you still got to make that first down now.
But look at where Bill Levy's thumb is. That's where the tip of the ball is. That's less than inches.
And, you know, do your quarterback sneak this? So you make sure you can get that inch. You take that ball, hand it off in the backfield where penetration might hurt you. Those are the decisions that a head coach has to make, offensive coordinator, as they're trying to make first downs and keep the chains moving.
3rd and inches. Morency in the backfield. He'll be the tailback. Bubba Frank's in motion.
That's a big mistake by the Packers.
Start. Yes. 73 offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's the rookie, Darren College. Big mistake.
And I think what happens, you hear all the checking going on. There's a lot of talking at the line of scrimmage, and guys get a little bit jumpy. The left guard got a little bit jumpy, but, you know, that's not keeping it simple. That's making it involved when it doesn't need to be involved. You've got an inch to go for a first down. Just keep it simple, get up and run the play.
And the quarter may get them. And it does. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. The Packers 28, the Cardinals 14.
You're watching Fox NFL Sunday.
You only have 1 week to deal during the Chrysler 2006 model year-end clearance. From right now until October 31st, get 0% APR financing for 60 months and make no monthly payments until April 2007 on Town & Country. The highest-ranked van in initial quality, according to J.D. Power & Associates. Or get 0 for 60 and make no monthly payments until April 2007 on Pacifica. Now, well-qualified returning lessees can get a low-mileage lease on a select 2006 Town & Country Touring for $199 a month.
Jim Doyle opposed new casinos, but after tribal casinos spent millions to elect him, he changed his tune. Doyle even gave tribes a deal so bad for taxpayers, it was ruled illegal. And while Doyle
we start the fourth quarter here in Green Bay. Ron Pitts, Terry Donahue, Drew Smith. After the penalty, the Packers go back 3rd and 6. They had a 3rd and millimeters. Looking for somebody. Dumps it off late. It's incomplete. And that would mean a punting situation for the Packers, and you can thank the penalty for that.
Well, no question about it. First really punt of the day for the Packers.
That's right. Look at the third quarter numbers.
I think the Packers have been able to continue to run the ball effectively. The penalty, 3rd and 1 inch, really ended this drive. It's tough to convert 3rd and 5.
This will be Troy Walters back deep. Receive the Ryan punt. First punt of the day. Walters takes it at the 25. He's got a lane. Walters almost broke it as he gets out to the 45-yard line. A.J. Hawk brought him down 24 yards. And great field position for the Arizona Cardinals when we come back. It's amazing what happens when you get the team to punt. You end up with your best field position of the day, and that's what the Arizona Cardinals have. They'll start off with the handoff to Edgerrin James. He tries to cut it back, but not much. The most anticipated game show of the year is almost here. It's the one and only show with no limits to how rich you can be, The Rich List. Series premiere Wednesday at 9, 8 Central, right here on Fox.
Ron, as you mentioned, this is the best field position Arizona has started with all day long. They've got a chance here if they can go on a scoring drive to get this game really interesting here in the fourth quarter.
2nd down and 6. Plenty of time for Liner, and he throws this one away. May have been intended for Troy Walters, but no rush at all.
Well, the offensive line really did a good job there for the rookie quarterback. Matt Liner just couldn't find anybody downfield. It was excellent coverage by the Green Bay secondary. He just had to unload the ball. He really had time to hang on to it even longer, but I think he just didn't know what to do with it.
3rd down and 6. Ball at midfield. And that's a first down for Arizona, but a marker goes down back at the 40-yard line. And it's in the Arizona Cardinals backfield, which usually means
holding. Number 63 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Bill.
And it's a good call. You can watch the left guard right here. He's the culprit. There's going to be a little cross stunt here, and he gets run over, and right here he just pulls him down. Anytime that umpire sees a player pulled down like that, he's going to call holding every time. And that's a shame, really, for the Cardinals, because that was a good conversion.
Well, they convert the first down.
Yeah,
they get 3rd down.
Yeah, they get the conversion. They're on a roll, and all of a sudden they get a holding penalty. Now they're 3rd and 16. That's a whole lot different.
And you hope your quarterback doesn't force one in this situation. 3rd and 16. Plenty of time going down the sideline for James, and it's knocked away. Great defense by Nick Barnett. And that'll mean a punt for the Cardinals.
Well, again, that offensive line does a great job giving Matt Leinart plenty of protection. As you mentioned, Ronnie, this is outstanding coverage by Nick Barnett, just being athletic, going up and knocking that ball away. The Green Bay Packers play a lot of man-to-man coverage. That means the linebackers, Hawk, Barnett, Papinga, they play tight man-to-man coverage as well.
Scott Player to Charles Woodson. Woodson goes back to the 10. He's got some help on the outside if he can get there. Woodson to the 25, almost turned the corner. Nice tackle there. Aaron Francisco saved a long gainer. 41 yards on the punt, 19 yards on the return. The Packers jumped out to a 21-7 lead. And in the second half here, Brett Favre, he decided to do it by himself. 1-yard touchdown run. But then Troy Walters came back. He added one here, and that made it 28-14. That one tacked on to the Edgerrin James 1-yard run after a very nice drive by the Arizona Cardinals. And we are at 28-14 here in the fourth quarter. Play action. Quick throw. Myrie will have the first down. Whoops, spoke too soon. He had a lot of daylight, but a good job of closing by the Arizona Cardinal defense.
Nice little call on 1st and 10. Just slipped the fullback out into the flat off a play action. An easy throw for the quarterback. Exchange the ball. As you said, Ron, looked like they were going to pick up the first down. It really did. But
then all of a sudden.
Yeah, but it was still an 8-yard gain.
8-yard pickup. 2nd down and 2. Green at tailback. They'll go with the power. Straight up the field. And that's a first. Let's go to Los Angeles for Chris Rose.
All right, Ron, special team snafu at Arrowhead by the Chiefs. Dustin Colquitt bobbles the snap, then he tries to throw it. Anybody have Gary Premier on speed dial? Kelly Herndon picking it up, rumbling 61 yards for his first career touchdown, and gets the Seahawks within 6. Back to Ron and Terry.
It never ceases to amaze me how guys will find new ways to give games away.
It's called panic, Ron. It's panic. Gosh. It happens, man. You know that. When they snap the ball, I hardly know my name.
8 men up by Arizona. Favre checks it. Whoa! Did he get it off?
Timeout.
Oh, he just got that one away. The play clock was expiring fast. And we are back in Green Bay. First down and 10. Play action to Green. Going deep down the middle of the field. Driver got it. A penalty marker is down back upfield.
Number 76 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That one goes against Chad Clifton.
With Brett Favre and Donald Driver are going to regret that hold. They love the hookup. Favre going deep to Driver. He just runs down the field. There's going to be play action. Favre's going to fake the run. Driver's just going to split the seam between the two defenders, outrun them. It's a perfectly thrown ball. It's a great throw, but the left tackle, Chad Clifton, he's going to be called for the holding. You can see him right there, that right arm. That's where he's got him hooked. It is a good call.
Because Bertrand Berry is going to get home. And so that wipes out a 47-yard. And they'll reset it. The draw, Green. Green works his way inside just past the 40-yard line. And two running backs today have a chance to go over 100 yards. Amon Green and Vernon Morency. And Morency along with Green. Did you see Green has hit the 100-yard mark on that last play? Morency is close, and the last time that happened, the two backs went over 100 yards for the Packers in the same game was 1985 against Tampa Bay. Eddie Lee Ivory and Gary Ellis. 2nd and 13. The check down to Green. He's got some room. And he'll get the first down and get out of bounds as he works into Cardinal territory.
You know, Ron, it's just a simple play. It's a little play-action pass. Brett Favre goes back, can't find anybody downfield. He wants to go deep, but he just looks off to his tailback, dumps him the ball. It's a good back in the open field with the ball in his hands. That's what you want.
And that's a nice pass play. The Cardinals have not stopped the run, as our previous graphic just showed.
No.
Ramon Green going over 100 yards, or just at 100 yards, and Morency probably about a carry or two away.
And Morency averaging 10 yards a carry. He's going to go in and ask for a contract extension.
As we mentioned earlier, brought in that trade with the Houston Texans. Sam Gatto went down to Houston. And that's when they were doing a lot of changes up here. The offensive line, they had the two rookies starting at the guard positions. Darren College and Jason Spitz. And you had changes there at your fullback position. No wonder they couldn't get the run game going.
No, that's right. I like the way they're utilizing the tailbacks now. Playing them both, keeping them fresh, letting them both hit that line of scrimmage.
Play action, a quick throw. Driver with a nice ad-lib. He's got the first down, and then some. Donald Driver juked out about 3 guys. He got 11 yards and a Packers first, and he's shaken up.
Donald Driver just comes across in motion. It's just a little 3 or 4 yard pass. This is going to be a very serious injury for the Packers if Donald Driver is hurt with that ankle or appears to be a leg. It's just a little pass. Watch, the rest of it is all Donald Driver. You talk about an underrated receiver, Ronnie. I've said all season long that I think this guy's one of the most underrated wideouts in the league. And this guy's a true professional.
First and 10, the cutback. Morency. Driver with a season high last week against Miami, 10 catches for 93 yards. As we've mentioned, he comes in as the team's leading receiver, obviously. Brett Favre's security blanket. And what did Brett Favre tell him? Never let another man know you're hurt.
Yeah, no,
but he was hurt.
He is hurt now. I mean, it's. I think this could be a very, very critical blow for the Packers.
That's Green, but on that last carry, Vernon Morency went over the 100-yard mark. So that's the second time in Packer history that two backs have gone over 100 yards in the same game.
And boy, the Packers will sell that on Monday, and you know they'll be talking about that offensive line,
right.
and that's great for the Packers if you're a Packer fan, for those 2 rookie guards and those veteran tackles and Wells in the middle, and they're going to be talking about, hey, you guys did it. Now we can run the ball.
Now we can move. 3rd and 2. Play action. The throw inside to Myrie. Myrie goes backwards.
Nice play by the Cardinals defense, reading a little play action pass, a little slip the fullback out, and all of a sudden the Cardinals defense read it properly. It's a good stop by the Cardinal defense.
Gerald Hayes, boy, he just goes head on with the forward tackle and denies Myrie the first down. So this will be Rayner.
I don't think they'll run the fake here, Ron. Not like earlier in the game. They'll go ahead and kick this ball.
42 yards for Rayner. He hit for 53 in practice. That one curves in. And the Packers put 3 on the board here and add to their lead. 31-14, Green Bay. Back here in Green Bay, the Packers starting to pound a little bit on the Arizona Cardinals. They had a long pass play to Donald Driver, wiped out by the penalty, but then they come right back to him, and he does it on the ground, does it after the catch, as they say. nothing like a little yak yards after the catch. Rayner, feeling good, puts this one into the end zone for a touchback. Let's go down to Drew Smith.
Hey guys, Donald Driver, a right ankle turn. They've had trouble with ankles before. Greg Jennings went out with that same injury last week. Don't know if he'll make it back. Vernon Morency, they've been working on his right hip. He's up and walking around, but we may not see him back in this game either. Back upstairs.
All right, Drew. And this is the injury that Driver sustained. May not be able to see it, but it's a carry from Edgerrin James. James with almost 8, call it 7. And the Packers came into this game vowing to use the tight ends, vowing to use the run game, and they've been able to use both pretty well today.
They really have, Ron, and they've done what they've wanted to do, which is dominate the line of scrimmage, throw it when they wanted to throw it, create that new line of scrimmage with that zone running game. They've been able to penetrate the defense of the Cardinals with the zone running game.
James will have the first down as he works up to the 35-yard line.
You know, Ron, I've been surprised. Coming into this game, I really anticipated that the Cardinals would play better than they've been able to play. They got off to such a rough start in the first half. As Denny Green said, my defense didn't stop them one time. And the offense got off to a very slow start. Second half, the offense, at the end of the first half and in the second half, the offense has played better, but the defense has let them down today.
First and 10 throw, and it's incomplete, intended for Bolden. And they have not been able to make that combination work there.
No,
when Bolden gets going, this team gets going. I don't think he's ever really gotten going.
Yeah, you wonder if the lack of Larry Fitzgerald, you know, and not,
right.
You know, and people being able to lean on Bolden more because Fitzgerald's not on the field. You know, this is a much better team when you have Fitzgerald, Johnson, and Bolden. But when Bolden's alone, or Johnson with him, it's not as powerful.
Second down and 10. Throw out to Walters, and it's incomplete. Dindy comes up with the coverage. And I still believe the Cardinals are reeling from that loss on Monday night to the Chicago Bears. You know, it's one thing to say, okay, well, it was a tough loss, but look, they've got some confidence off that. They'll come back. Sometimes that can go the opposite way, and I think it went the opposite way on Arizona.
No, it's tough right now for Denny Green, his staff. You know, everybody on that Cardinal organization is trying to get a win here. It doesn't look like it's going to happen today. Green Bay has played very, very well. But they've just got to fight through this and get to the bye next week and rest up and come out in the second half of the season.
Packers
start over.
Blitz inside. Barnett, he gets the sack. They telegraphed that one all the way, and they still got there.
The Packers are going to come up into the middle. You can see these two guys lined up right there, those two linebackers. The heat's going to be brought by Hawk and Barnett. And it's just a great job by Barnett. Great second effort. Athletic move. Look at this. Look at the athleticism there.
Jumps right over Marcel Shipp. And there's a long punt, and it's angling for the out of bounds, and it will go out of bounds at the 17-yard line. And we were talking about that Arizona-Chicago game. Remember, the Cards stormed out to a 20-0 halftime lead and led 23-3 with 16 minutes to play against the #1 offense and defense in the NFL. The lead disappeared as the Bears scored 3 touchdowns, 2 fumble returns, and a punt return. Remember this one? And in the end, the Cardinals have a chance, but Neil Rackers pushes this 40-yard field goal, and it's nothing but heartbreak for the Arizona Cardinals. And that would have been the game. The new stadium, you got the new franchise quarterback playing for the first time, and it didn't happen. But it's happened for this guy all day today, Ahman Green. And now Green with his second week in a row with a good day.
Yeah, if Ahman Green can start putting games together, 100-yard rushing games back-to-back, put 3 or 4 of those together, the Packers will get that balance in the offense that they've been talking about and wanting to get. Mike McCarthy talks to us all the time about wanting to run the ball. I want to be able to run the ball with the zone scheme. I want to be able to play action. I don't want to put everything on Brett Favre's shoulders.
And play is stopped on this 2nd and 6.
False start. Number 76 offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
That's another penalty against Clifton.
Ron, you don't want to speculate because you don't know for sure, but if you just imagine if Donald Driver is gone next week, and Jennings doesn't get back, and you've lost Ferguson, you lost Robinson, you're going to be playing with Ravel Martin and Francis and guys that you hardly even know out there. It's going to be a very, very tough road for the Packers.
Yeah, Driver back in. I have a hard time believing it. And ankle's going to keep Donald Driver out. And that's Martin. And you're talking about some of those young guys. Ravel Martin, I mentioned earlier, an undrafted free agent by the San Diego Chargers in 2004, was on the practice squad with Green Bay for 7 weeks last year. You kind of put those guys on the practice squad and you forget about them until something happens and you really need them. And then here they are.
Exactly, and that's what happens. That's why you got to be careful with a guy like Driver playing again. That ankle can swell up on you overnight, and all of a sudden you're losing for next week.
3rd down and 4. They'll fake the draw. Far in a little bit of a trouble, and that will be a sack for Chike O'Keefer. And a quick look at the game summary. You see the yards and rushing. Huge for the Green Bay Packers today as they had 2 running backs go over 100 yards rushing.
And that's a big day for your offensive line. 27 first downs. You're moving the chains. You're having fun calling offensive plays when you're doing that.
So the Pack will punt it away. Ryan, who is not punted too many times today, as a marker goes down. This is taken by Walters. Walters gets up past the 40 and out of bounds. It's a wonder Ryan didn't pull a hamstring. A little chilly here today. That's 53 yards on that punt. Bill Levy talks it over.
Ryan, you got to think about the Cardinals. They've got to go back now. The good news for the Cardinals is they have a bye. And so, it really is, because you can get back in, you can reanalyze what's gone astray for you. You can
holding. Number 26 receiving team during the return. 10-yard penalty. Arizona keeps the ball. 1st down. Time.
You can get your team rebuilt and come out in the second half and have a good second half of the season.
America, are you?
The AT&T post-game show coming up after the game. Kurt, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy with the scores and highlights, plus the new BCS shakeup. That, of course, relating to the big loss by the USC Trojans yesterday.
How about Ohio State and Michigan? You think that's going to be a big game at the Horseshoe? Is that where they're playing?
2 very good teams.
That's going to be an interesting game. And the team that kind of keeps hanging in there, had an early season loss, is Texas.
Yeah.
Texas has as good a football players as anybody in the country. Every year in recruiting, there's so many players down there. You got to be careful now. You're talking about a team that's coming off of a national championship. They lost early. You can lose early and still play again for the national championship if everything goes right. You can't lose late and generally get to do it.
This will be a 1st and 10 for Arizona at the 15-yard line. They'll hand it off to James. James for a couple. You talked about the Cardinals having the bye next week, a much-needed bye, but then they'll come right back at home. And if they want to make a statement, this is probably a chance to make some kind of statement this year. They'll play Dallas.
Yeah,
it seems like everybody's taking their shots at Dallas. They might as well take one too.
Well, I think Denny Green will get this team refocused after the bye. I think sometimes you just need to get away when things have gone the wrong direction for you, and a week off is good sometimes.
2nd down and 6, pressure. The throw, and it's incomplete, intended for James, but Barnett is all over the field. Now, how valuable is this guy to this defense? Not only can he blitz and give you pressure, and he's been the leading tackler the last few years here in Green Bay, he just finds the ball.
Yeah, I really like Nick Barnett, but I like A.J. Hawk, too. And Papinga's,
he works well in that scheme.
Yeah, and Papinga's a developing player. He's not as far along as Hawk, in Barnett, but I said in an earlier game that I thought Barnett was a top-rate type linebacker in the NFL. I think he's in the very elite guys. I mean, he's one of the 5 or 6 best in the league, in my judgment. That's how I like him.
Bob Sanders, the defensive coordinator, getting it together. There's a throw and a catch and a first down by Troy Walters.
Troy Walters is an important little spare part for the Cardinals. You know, you're talking about a 3rd, 4th receiver. You're talking about a punt returner. This guy's played a long time in this league. I really like the way he plays. He's been in the league 7 years out of Stanford University. He's done a really nice job. And they need to get this guy back, Larry Fitzgerald. He needs to get back in the lineup for the Cardinals. He's a factor when he plays.
Led the team in receiving last year, 103 catches. You tend to miss that after a while. There's a throw inside and a first down.
We made the
Walters
point
again.
We made the point earlier, Ronnie, when it's harder on Anquan Bolden when Fitzgerald's not in that game, you know, because people concentrate more on 81 when number 11's not in there.
The long out. Bolden's going to run for something. And Bolden is inside Packer territory. And this will be the 2-minute warning. 31-14, Green Bay. And that's not including today. You can see the road has not been too good for Arizona.
Boy, Denny Green, I know what he's thinking over there, Ron. You know, how did I get here? You know, he came in with such high expectations. Everybody thought the Cardinals would be a much, much better team than they are right now. And he's got to go back with that staff and do a lot of work. They need to do a lot of soul searching and try to figure out how to have a better second half of the season.
Yeah. First and 10, Arizona under the 2-minute warning. Going down the seam for Walters. Boy, he put it there, and Walters couldn't bring it in. I don't know if you can throw it that much better.
Walters is in the slot. You can watch him. He just runs right down the field. It's a nice little move by him. The ball maybe 6 inches overthrown. Maybe if Walters is a little bit bigger player, maybe he can reach out and make that catch.
And a Packer is down upfield. That's Nick Collins, the free safety. 2nd-round pick last year out of Bethune-Cookman. He could be cramping. And a recap of the touchdowns. Early it was Favre to Martin. Ahman Green, he had 2 today, as well as 100 yards. Edgerrin James got the run game going for the Arizona Cardinals. In the second half, Favre says, I'm tired of everybody else scoring. I'm going to score myself. Scored there, jumped up into the stands for his Lambeau leap. Walters got him back going a little bit. But really, it's been about the rushing yards. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what people are going to talk about.
Yeah, you got two guys that have gone over 100 yards. You've got an offensive line that hasn't given up a sack. I mean, you know, there's a lot of good stuff for the Packers.
Green Bay next week will go to Buffalo. They'll improve in the conference or in the division, as they are desperately trying to chase the Chicago Bears that are off to a screaming start. And the worst part about it is the Bears came here earlier in the season and beat up on the Packers 26-0. Ryan in trouble. And it's incomplete. Skips it to Edgerrin James.
Nice job by the Packers. There's just a 2-man rush with a third man kind of being a spy guy, just making sure the quarterback didn't scramble, and they got enough pressure on him to force Matt Leinart into a bad throw.
Well, Coach, give me one positive that you can build off of for this Arizona offense right now.
I think the way the offense had a long drive at the end of the first half, It was a very important drive, and I think the way they came out in the early part of the second half and moved the ball, they had back-to-back touchdown drives, and that's got to be encouraging for them. You know,
outside unabated to the quarterback, number 94.
Ronnie,
penalty, third down.
Ronnie, they haven't been able to do that for a long time with that offense, and they did it today. So, you know, the offensive line, the changes they've made. Reggie Wells, he gave up a sack, yeah, but it's going to take some time for that new line to work together. But I think the longer they play, the better they'll get. And they've got to have some hope, and they've got to just work that line. That line helps protect the quarterback. It helps get the running game going. That's what they need to do. They've made their decisions. Now they got to coach it.
Green Bay offsides on the last play. That one could be intercepted, and that's 2 in the direction of Al Harris. Poppinga with the pressure.
Well, on this particular play, again, the pressure comes from the linebacking core. It's great effort by Poppinga. The offensive line just broke down on this particular play, but I still believe that the moves that Denny Green has made are the right moves. I think they've got to avoid the injuries in the offensive line, get some continuity. The line will get better and better every week they play together.
4th down. Intercepted. Simultaneous catch is going to go to the offense. But let's see what they call it. And they call it Packer ball. Interception.
It's a nice job by Charles Woodson undercutting the route. You can watch him here at the top of the screen and watch the play that he makes. He anticipates this route. He knows now it's an inside route. He just undercuts it, gets that ball, and comes up with the interception. I think it's a good call and a really outstanding play by him.
Charles Woodson with his 2nd interception in as many weeks. Last week had the interception and a touchdown that really sparked the win down there in Miami.
Charles Woodson's having a good year, Ronnie. He's returning punts aggressively. He's playing better on the corner. I think he's having a real good year.
Packers will go back to the run. Noah Herron, second-year man out of Northwestern, gets a little run. If you're Green Bay now, let's look at their side of it. Started off rough, and they've got a long way to go in this division with the way the Bears have played and the way Minnesota's playing. But what are some of the positives you see on this team right now?
Well, I think the ability to run the ball. That's what they want to be able to do. 2 100-yard rushers today. An offensive line with 2 rookies starting to come together. 2 good offensive tackles in Clifton and Tosher. Those guys are good. Wells, 3rd-year guy inside. So that line has a chance to come together. And a young defense. I like the Packers' defense. I don't like their secondary particularly. I know that they give up a lot of pass yards, but the front 7 is young and aggressive.
That's Vernon Morency being carted off, and he had an outstanding day. 11 rushes for 100 yards. 101 to be exact, and that's one heck of a yard per carry average.
Ron, if you're a Packer fan, this is a good win for the Packers. This is a team they felt they could beat. This was a team they needed to beat. They get a very important win here at Lambeau Field.
And the Pack will get the win. They'll move to 3-4. The Cardinals will drop to 1-7. And that's the way it'll go down here in Lambeau. The road woes still continue for Dennis Green and the Arizona Cardinals.
You've got a lot of work to do if you're Arizona. You've got to go back, get into your bye week, reevaluate exactly what your team can do, what you can do well, what you can't do well, and make sure that your players stay with you. That's critical.
So the Pack get the win, 31-14.
You know, I'd give the game ball to the offensive line, Ron. I think that